Hi, my name is Justin DeRoy, and you tuned in for a brand new episode of Canceled Misfits. For today's episode, we have the early Fox comedy, Undeclared. So a brief summary of what the show is about. It follows the day-to-day life of a young college student named Steven and 5 of his best friends. So the cast for this show was Jay Bradshaw, Seth Rogen, Carla Gallo, Tim Sharp, and Monica Keena. And some highlights of the show, I would say overall, for sure you would want to highlight the great ensemble cast and humor they brought to this show. Plus, I thought it was a great relatable topic that, was easily relatable to people in the college crowd, because the main concept of the show is basically trying to find who you are in college and what you want to do for your life. And that's easily relatable to anyone in college, because that's basically what you're trying to do in college. And now moving on to ratings. So this is going to be a pretty quick review of the ratings, considering that this show is actually old enough that it's hard to find any information. In fact, I could not find any information on ratings for this TV show, because it kind of predates, streaming television and stuff like that. So most stuff before the 2000s, it's hard to find out what the ratings were for TV shows, I guess, that old. So I couldn't really find any information for you, but given that it was canceled, I could probably guess ratings were not that great considering it got canceled after just one season. So as for reviews of the show, I looked on both Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, and the reviews actually were pretty good. They are fairly high ratings for both critics and fans of this show. The only negative things I could really say about the show, and it's something I hardly even remember about it, was the fact that people thought it was this stupid idea to have the father of the main character living with the Steven character in the show. That could possibly lead into why the show got canceled. Perhaps just that one fact ended up, causing the whole show to go downhill, but it's really hard to say. Anyway, this now, of course, leads me into final thoughts on the show. What I think caused the show to inevitably get canceled. So I've already said that it's hard to find any reviews, so you can't really know for sure if it was low ratings. Reviews of the show did show that it was very popular with the fans of the show. So that's another thing that's confusing, because, the show was well received. Critics liked it, fans liked it. So I wanted to immediately turn to maybe just thinking that Jay Bradshaw was not a very good leading character for this, and maybe fans just didn't like him being the leading character. Because I kind of feel myself personally that he's more of a good supporting character, not a great leading character. And I tried looking up some examples of some movie roles that he'd had where he's the leading character. One being the movie She's Out of My League, and then also the movie The Apprentice, both movies again that he was the leading role of. But when you look at the box office returns of those movies, they actually did have a really decent return on them. So it's hard to say if maybe I'm right or wrong on that, if maybe people just don't like him as a leading character. Maybe it's just me, and, I should just shut up about it. Really, I'm just going to have to lean hard on the idea that maybe the studio just saw that the ratings were not at the right place for the show, and they decided to drop it despite the fact that it had huge success with its fans. There's even a funny story, too, that actually goes with this, that the creator of the show, Judd Apatow, he had actually sent a rating review from, I can't remember which article it was, to the heads of the Fox studio to basically rub in the face that you messed up. This show could have been something, but you decided not to take a chance on it. But really, I'd say for at least the cast of the show, it probably was not such a big deal, because if you look at what's happened with this cast now, most of them have gone on to bigger and better things. J.E. Bradshaw is still getting decent roles in many different TV shows and movies and stuff like that. So he's doing very well for himself, I think. Awfully, Seth Rogen is doing very, very well for himself. He has at least one movie a year coming out, I'd say, maybe more than that. I'm not really keeping track. And of course, Charlie Hunnam had gone on after this to do one of my favorite crime dramas of all time, The Sons of Anarchy. And now he's kind of trying to make his leap into becoming, a big movie star. So So it's really hard to say if it really matters or not if this show got canceled, because, obviously the people in the show did fairly well for themselves, including the creator, Judd Apatow, is still out there creating new content and has been very successful, at least with his movie franchise. So I'd say that everything pretty much ended well for everyone anyway, regardless of the sad fact the show got canceled well before its time, and I think that it probably should have been given a better chance. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you for tuning in today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out some of the other videos on this channel. That's all for me today. Goodbye.